if you put your stop loss below this fair value gap and you targeted this high, what would have happened? You would have lost. Why is that, right? You're not trading with any confirmation. You're not trading with any confirmation. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a couple of case studies. Well, mainly just one trade, actually, one trade along on ES. And I'm going to be breaking down how I trade, right? So I do trade somewhat of the 2022 model, but the 2022 model works on one thing. So if you're trading the ICT 2022 model, what you need to understand is you need to understand three things. You need to know where to trade from, you need to know what to look for, and you need to know why you're looking for it. So what does the where stand? So where, what, why? What does the where stand for? So a where stands for your key level. So you need to have a key level or a POI. So I call this a POI, and one of the most common questions I get is, how do I form a POI? It is simply a 15-minute fair value gap. So let me explain. So what's going on? Before we just go on to the fair value gap, what we're looking for is we are first looking for an Asian range like this. So the Asian range looks to build liquidity. This is the accumulation of the market. Okay, so now what we're looking for is we're looking for price to sweep the Asian range low. The reason we're looking for price to sweep the Asian range low is because this is our manipulation, right? This is price showing us bearish manipulation. So this is the manipulation. And so what I mean by that is when price takes out the Asian range low, this shows us that sell side liquidity has been swept. It is a manipulation to the downside. Now, once we have that, we're looking for price to break structure. So I'm looking for a market structure shift just over here. So this is going to be my market structure shift, right? And so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to tap into a fair value gap after this. So this is not in the New York session. So I only trade the New York session. But it's important to understand that we can see London session respecting bullish fair value gap. So we're seeing bullish momentum or bullish order flow, right? That's important to understand. So this is typically what a 2022 model will look like. But some of them win and some of them lose, and you are frustrated and you're blaming your psychology on this. Well, that's not the case. The real problem is you're not using order flow, and that's what we're going to go over in this video, right? So we can see here price has taken out the Asian range high, right? So price has now taken the Asian range high. Now that doesn't mean you can't take buys. That doesn't mean you can't take buys. So what I'm looking for now is I am looking for the next 15-minute fair value gap, and I want traders to understand how I mark out my fair value gaps, right? This is how I mark out my POIs to begin with, right? So the reason this is a POI, and I'm just going to label it POI. So this is step one. This is the where. Where am I trading from? I always want to be trading from a POI. And so a POI is made up of a couple of things, right? We want to see a fair value gap and we want to see a market structure shift in our intended direction. That's all I'm looking for. So I do use ICT concepts, but I don't rely on ICT concepts for my entries. And this is what we're going to go over right now. Okay, so this is our POI. Now, what's also important to understand is that we have the previous day high. So this trade was all about targeting that previous day high. So for those who trade ICT concepts, you only really need liquidity and fair value gaps. Notice how all of my concepts in all my previous videos come down to liquidity, right? We've taken out the Asian range, liquidity, and fair value gaps, which make the POIs, right? This is very important to understand. So you need these two concepts